Pisces, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the Renaissance Tarot, to your funny and your most favorite Armenian guy, where I serve and I slay. So today, dear Pisces, I'm going to be doing your reading from November 10th to the 16th. And in this reading, I'm going to take a look at your recent past, present, and future. I'm going to clarify the main challenge and get some final advice for you. Dear Pisceana, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the Mercury retrograde also. Sending you big hugs to my Pisceanos and my Pisceanas. I'm here to serve and to slay. Now, these are general readings, so they may resonate with you and they may not. My cutie patootie looking all that's so good. Peanut butter jelly sandwich. I haven't said that in a while, I know. Let's see what's going on for my Pisces. Got the Lovers coming up. In the recent past. Okay, so your challenge, Pisces, is you, which is the Hanged Man. This is literally the card of Pisces. Love that for you. Did you also have this last time too? I think you did. Last time you did, I think you did too. The Hanged Man, Pisces. Okay, that's good. You are the main focus here. And but you don't see coming at the bottom of the deck, you have the Hierophant, which is also for Taurus. So your challenge here, dear Pisces, has a lot to do with you seeing a situation from the Pisces' perspective. You know what I'm saying? I feel like for a lot of you, having the Hangman, it really is about you just seeing a situation maybe from a different perspective. There is something here that is coming into your attention. Maybe something is going to be eliminated for you. This is also about you not compromising and not conforming and not giving up on something, right? Because the story of a Hanged Man goes all the way back into the culture of tarot, where they hung this person upside down because this person was a rebellious person and had a completely different outlook on things, right? So for many of you, you are someone that you are very unique, and your definition of a relationship, of a connection, of a marriage, of what you want. And you just, your biggest thing here is for someone to understand fully what you truly want out of this connection. So we're going to get back to this and clarify shortly. In the recent past, you have the Lovers, the Five of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles. So in the recent past, I do strongly feel like here that there was a very strong connection between you and someone else. However, I do see here someone abandoning this relationship, walking away from you, disconnecting from you. And it did cause a lot of sadness. For many of you, spent quite a long time, maybe weeks and months, just trying to really understand why. You were asking yourself this big question, why? Why did this person disappear? Why all of a sudden things stopped between me and this individual? Okay, we're going to get back to this and clarify shortly. In the present moment, you have the Seven of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Chariot. So in the present moment, many of you are being faced with making some really big decisions. Some of you could be traveling. Some of you could be moving, relocating, stepping into the power. I do see here a lot of you also having to choose. You could have potentially, for very few of you, maybe 2 people, 3 people in your mind that you're trying to kind of really decide which one is the right person for you. You could be dealing with a Cancer. I'm getting here Scorpio with a Death card, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius, and a Taurus. Okay, so it could be other sign, could be a Gemini as well. But we're going to get back to this to see what is this confusion about in the present moment and what kind of clarity you're going to need in a moment. In the near future, you have the Death, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Two of Pentacles. So you do know that even though if you were to transform something here and move towards a specific person, there is still a lot of decisions that need to be made. It's not going to be, Rome wasn't built in a day, right? So I feel like that it's not something that is just going to be right away getting back and everything is going to be back to the same way. There is going to be a lot of modifications and changes that need to be happening between you and this person. I do see here a major transformation happening. The Death of the Tower has been coming up in almost every sign's reading, which is really a strong indication and confirmation for us being in the season of Scorpio. So things will be moving forward, but I think there is a major decision here with the Two of Pentacles that needs to be made. And we're going to get back to this and clarify to see what this is about. What you don't see coming at the bottom of the deck, dear Pisceana, you have the Hierophant, the Emperor, and the King of Pentacles. Okay, so this could be, as I was saying, like 2 or 3 people that you have in front of you, literally the Emperor, the Hierophant, King of Pentacles. Power figures, you know, I'm also getting here commitment. You would want to commit yourself to someone. Maybe some of you want to have children with this person, or maybe there is already children involved. You want to make sure that you both actually share equal responsibilities. But I see here commitment coming in, okay? But we're gonna need to clarify to see how this is gonna unfold for you. Let's get into your reading and clarify everything for you. So I am going to clarify the Hangman for you, dear Pisces, which is you, and see what is this situation here that you are being faced and what do you need to know, dear Pisceana. So the Hangman is clarified by the Nine of Cups, the King of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. You know, sometimes you might have felt that being with this person, and I'm going to say this, it's not going to resonate with everyone. A lot of times you were stressed out with this person because you felt like that you were dealing with a person who was very difficult, and almost this person might have been, I'm going to use this word, but you may, if you find a different word, let me know in the comments. If this person has been a threat to your happiness, or they were disturbing your happiness at times, or it was very happy, it was very exciting one moment, and then the next moment you might have felt that things were kind of like very much stressed out. You know, even though you might have tried to, you were like very much stressed out about having a brand new beginning with this person because there was a lot of trust issues. I'll talk about that in a second. But your challenge here has a lot to do with deciding if you want to stay single and if you want to focus on your own career, on writing your book, you know, launching your art, whatever it might be, and kind of focus on your own, continue focusing on yourself and your growth and what it is that you want to create for yourself. Or, you know, you just want to kind of see how this situation is going to go and kind of like be willing to be invested into this relationship also. Because a lot of you were invested into this relationship in the past. Many of you gave another chance to this person, embarked onto a new journey, but look what happened, right? There has been trust issues with the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Swords, dear Pisces. And because of these trust issues, because of this uncertainty, you were stressed out. You were stressed out and hurt, okay, by whatever happened between you and them. So the question here is you trying to see, understand it, and deeply really know what is it about this person that's kind of making you feel like, you know, I'm willing to sacrifice. And are you going to sacrifice? Are you going to compromise or not, right? Because this situation can change instantly to a completely different direction. And we're going to see how that's going to unfold for you. But your biggest thing here is making sure you are not compromising your self-fulfilling prophecy, your own happiness that you have been able to create for yourself, and your financial independence and being by yourself. Because sometimes when you think of going back to a person, or, you know, people think we know this is a love reading, right? And I do the love readings here, but sometimes we put the relationship or the person on a pedestal, and what it does is it actually takes our focus away from other important things in our lives. And on my channel, I do not sugarcoat. I'm not going to sit here and feed illusions and delusions. You know, we keep it real, Pisces. That's why we are here. Now, in the recent past, the Lovers, Gemini energy here, there was definitely a chemistry, some sort of chemistry between you and this person. Lovers is clarified by the Chariot, the Tower, and the Moon. Some of you also were dealing with the Scorpio and a Cancer. Now, even though there was a lot of love between you and this person, strong chemistry, I do see here in the past this situation coming to an end unexpectedly. The Tower moment, some sort of a situation came to an end with this person, something happened. Many of you saw the signs and synchronicities, and your intuition with the Moon here was telling you. You are someone that you're very, very, very intuitive, Pisces. Your intuition is very strong, okay? If not the strongest. Now, for many of you, you kind of saw it coming, but you still went with it. You were either playing with fire, or you were trying to experiment, or you're trying to see some things, but a situation here ended. And I'm getting here this energy of someone kind of like leaving or walking away or disappearing or just focusing on what's in front of them and what's important for them. And hence you were left with all this demolished and these leftovers and just this, destroyed situation where things were very difficult. Many of you also might have experienced a lot of loneliness, financial obstacles, difficulties, challenges that you had to go through. Let's clarify the Five of Pentacles for you. So the Five of Pentacles in the recent past is clarified by the Ace of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Three of Wands. I do see here some of you really wanting to know the truth. You were really looking for some sort of a clarification, communication, justification with this person. There was distance between you and them. I do see here this person not listening to you, or someone here kind of either being avoidant or not being open to communication, okay? Someone just kind of was keeping you at bay or was disappearing or maybe blocking you from communication. Now, the Seven of Pentacles, I think a lot of you in the recent past did really a lot of like a thorough evaluation and reevaluation of this connection here. There was definitely pause and reflect about like, what am I looking into? Why am I holding on to this person? So it's clarified by the Five of Pentacles, Six of Wands, and the Lovers. Even though this situation was very heart-wrenching, it was very challenging, very difficult for many of you, right? With the Five of Pentacles, you really took the time to heal your abandonment wounds. Everyone has certain trauma, everyone has certain situations that they go through, and it becomes very challenging at times. Now, the Five of Pentacles series twice, right, in the clarification, you started healing your relationship when it comes to, making sure that you are valuing yourself, making sure that you are feeling appreciated, that no one takes you for granted. Because people, sometimes I think, they may mistake your kindness and your generosity with weakness, but that's not the case. You're just a very caring sign. You're just someone that really gives and gives and gives, and people take it for granted. And I think sometimes when you step into your power and you pull back, they get surprised about it, right? So, dear Pisces, I feel like in the past, you really did a lot of healing within yourself because you have the Lovers here, so because of this relationship, okay? So let's talk about the present moment here now. You are definitely standing in front of choices, options, trying to see a situation from a different perspective. So the Seven of Cups here is telling me that you're creating this balance in your life, and you kind of might be going back and forth. What is the best course of action? What should I do with this situation, with this person? So the Seven of Cups in the present moment is clarified by the King of Pentacles, the Eight of Wands, and the Sun. A lot of you, I feel like, are choosing to focus on your career and on your money. I think you're realizing that like financial stability. By the way, it's 10:10 on the clock right now for me. Financial stability and success is not going to give you any issue. You're not going to have any problems with that. So for a lot of you are focused on that, working toward your own happiness, creating what makes you happy. I do see here potentially some sort of communication being created between you and someone, possibly an Earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo, or a Leo. A communication could be evolving between you and this person, which will also give you that like understanding which direction you really want to move forward to, because you're stepping into your power. So let's talk about the Queen of Wands for you in the present moment and see what is it that you need to know. So the Queen of Wands is clarified by the Five of Swords, Ten of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles. And then you have the Ten of Cups at the bottom. So for a lot of you, I think that you are recognizing and realizing that if you were to be with this person, form family, be with them, and marry with them, there is a conflict here that needs to be resolved. And this conflict here with the Five of Swords has a lot to do with maybe there is competition, maybe someone else might have been involved in this situation, third parties, whatever it might be. You're also learning, Pisceana, to hold your energy back, to detach, to actually take whatever you were used to invest, right? You see the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. You're protecting your resources, and your resources are your money, your time, your energy, everything that you've created for yourself. And I think that you're really learning how to set boundaries with everyone around you. Doesn't mean you stop loving people. It means that you start really learning how to say no properly, okay? Not maybe, not whatever. You're just standing very firm on your boundaries. Now, in the present moment, a lot of you are stepping into this power. There is a conflict here that is kind of like going to be being brought into your attention, and you're going to need to resolve this. For many of you, I think you do want to settle down with this person, marry with them, and move forward. So this conflict is something that you are right now in the present moment looking at the situation from a completely different perspective. If in the past you might have looked into the situation with the Five of Swords from a different level of consciousness, now you're sitting from a hangman energy. There is a lot more compassion, there is a lot more understanding, there is a lot more forgiveness for yourself also, because you might have blamed yourself for saying certain things or doing things or whatever, but we all make mistakes, we all do things, right? What comes here is, what's really important is how much do we learn from those. Now in the present moment, the Chariot here is clarified by the Ten of Cups, King of Cups, and the Three of Pentacles. The direction of this relationship that is going to go to is basically about you and this person working on building a strong foundation of family, a strong family that's built on strong foundation together. There is a strong sense of cooperation and collaboration, okay? So the King of Cups is you, the Three of Pentacles is this collaborative energy that's going to happen, and this is the energy that you're going to embody. Because you decided to be the bigger person, the better person, and to also maybe help this person realize what are the things that they need to see and what are the changes that they need to make within themselves in order for you and them to make it work. You have the Magician at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so you're definitely setting an intention here to manifest this relationship and this connection to work out in the best case scenario. For many of you, you might be buying a house with this person, you might be settling down in a completely new location, new area. I do see here your main focus and your main intention here being towards happiness and making sure that this person is also on the same page, on the same frequency and vibration with you. Let's talk about the Death and the Knight of Pentacles and the Two of Pentacles for you in the near future. So I do feel like here with the Death, something here is finally coming to an end. There is a release, there is a radical change that's going to be taking place for you and this person in this relationship. The Death here represents Scorpio energy, and we are in the Scorpio season. So it is about a death and a rebirth and a metamorphosis energy. Okay, the Death is clarified by the Magician, the Queen of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. For many of you, I feel like you are going to be really looking into this pain, right? And be like, you know, I'm going to transmute this, right? The cycle is coming to an end finally, close enough. And you're going to be able to manifest faster. We are always manifesting. I would just say you're going to start seeing manifestations coming up in your life and showing up in your 3D reality faster when you actually acknowledge the past emotions and the feelings that were kind of holding you back. Because manifestation is directly related to our regulated nervous system, right? When we are feeling safe in our bodies. And also it is about our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions. What emotions are we feeling, right? Because a person can say all day long, I'm rich, you know, but it's like if they don't feel worthy enough to receive, if a person doesn't feel, because that's what the Neville Goddard says, right? Feeling is the secret. Many of you know who Neville Goddard is. If you don't, when you start feeling abundant and wealthy, you actually become a vibrational match to that wealth that you're attracting into your life. And that principle applies to everything in life. When you start feeling worthy of love, worthy of a healthy relationship, you're no longer identifying yourself in this mindset of woe to me, what happened to me, things like that. You're actually transmitting and you're telling the universe, I'm ready to receive this gift. I'm ready to receive this opportunity that's going to be presented for me. Six of Cups also talks about the person coming back from the past. Now, Knight of Pentacles here and the Two of Pentacles, I do see here strong, stable vision. Okay, the Knight of Pentacles is someone that doesn't rush into things, doesn't go crazy. I don't think you're gonna be making any hasty decisions. It's just being very wise and very smart and choosing your battles wisely. So the Knight of Pentacles in the near future is clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, and the Hanged Man. You did it again. You did it again, Pisces. So when it comes down to, you know, accepting this love offer, having a brand new beginning together, the Hangman is here again. That's why your challenge is the Hangman again. And the Hangman here in Tarot, it represents Pisces, meaning seeing this relationship and this opportunity that's going to be granted again for both of you from a completely different perspective, even from a business perspective. I'm not saying it's just based on business, but with the Queen of Pentacles, there is gonna be discussions and you know, important conversations in regards to money, stability, sharing assets. That's something for the future. But I do feel like here for a lot of you, this connection really holds the potential and the vision for you to take it to the next level. And when you take it to the next level, dear Pisces, there is gonna be a lot of abundance. There's gonna be a lot of stability and feeling very grounded with the Queen of Pentacles energy. So let's clarify the Two of Pentacles. I feel like, you know, you're gonna solidify some sort of a decision here. Something here needs to be solidified Be firm and move on. Okay, no more going back and forth. No more trying to, see if it's gonna work out, if it's not gonna work out. So the Two of Pentacles is clarified by the King of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. Yeah, the iconic and magnetic and energetic, my favorite Ace of Wands. I know it's favorite of many of you as well. So yeah, King of Swords and the Ace of Wands, right? Being very clear on this new beginning. What is the vision? And not letting the stress or the memories or the things that happened in the past to hold you back. Remember, sometimes certain frequencies and vibrations may try to return back into our lives to pull us back. And I would always say this, we don't just deal with people, Pisces. I'm sure you're very smart and you're very you are wise enough to understand what I'm saying, what I'm about to say. We deal with frequencies. We deal with frequencies, not just people. Every single person is a host to a specific vibration and frequency. So when you look at it from that way, and that's what I did. I was like, I'm gonna adopt the Hangman's perspective. Pisces is perspective, higher consciousness, higher level of consciousness. And I'm gonna say, you know what, if this person is doing this to me, or this person is being mean, that's just lame. First of all, being mean and being mean and a hater is just, it's lame. And it also is a frequency, so I don't take it personally. Change your frequency, and then you can match my freak, and then you can be in my life. I think that's the energy that you're going to be embodying, and not let the frequencies from the past try to hold you back. So let's get into your advice and see what is it that you need to know. And what you don't see coming at the bottom of the deck is the Hierophant, which is the spirituality and also the commitment between you and this person. So let's get the advice and see what is it that you need to know, dear Pisces. Actually, beautiful reading. So Pisces, you have the Four of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. The biggest piece of advice here for you is to continue. I think you're already doing this. It's just a reminder to continue really just focusing on what is it that you need to heal and release completely. And when you heal and close this chapter of feeling abandoned, feeling left out, right? The internal feelings here, which you also experienced in the past with the Five of Pentacles, you are going to be able to move faster than you even expected. And you're going to see your outer reality moving faster. The Eight of Wands is a very positive energy. It's about communication, it's about movement. So it's about you just recognizing there is no need to get stuck into the past or the past patterns. When you start looking within yourself and you heal, you also kind of mirror that energy back to your person, and they start taking accountability as well. Of course, everyone has free will, but they see you as an example. They see you as someone that doesn't chase, because the love doesn't chase. Okay, love loves to love. So this is what I had for you, dear Pisceana. Thank you so much for being here. I hope that this reading helped. I love you so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.